Guys, okay, it's pretty early. Let me get situated, guys. I really wanted to make this video today. I got up really motivated, and I was gonna tell myself, oh, I can make this video a different day. It's not gonna make a difference. No, it is. It's definitely gonna make a difference. So I think while I have this topic on my heart, I should just make the video, and I'm gonna make sure that I put the right tags and everything else so that people can, new people can also get their hands on this video, because I think that this is something that I'm seeing a pattern of certain things going around. And me personally, I'm very used to the law of attraction talk and stuff like that, but I think of late I've been wanting to bring more law of assumption into the discussion, because especially women, okay, there's a lot of things that we have to get into our psyche, into our subconscious mind. There's a lot of things, guys, that we have to perfect and take more seriously. And this topic that I'm going to be talking about, I really think can boil down to so many other, as you want to say, hot topics, right? Hot topics that are happening in the world. And while it's on my heart, I want to make the video because, a little later on when I'm busy, the same topic may not be on my heart. So I think while I have the energy to speak on it, I'm going to speak on it, right? So first things first, okay, people have to understand that, and I'm not going to cut around the bush here, because there's a lot of topics that I need to dive into, okay? So one in particular. All right, my love bugs, I'm back. I just wanted to get situated because it's super early. I didn't realize how early it is. And whenever I normally do these type of videos, it's like at night. I realize it's actually at night. So I had to get a little bit more situated, guys. Okay, that's good. Okay, guys, it's perfect now. I got it perfectly right. Is it upside down? Why is it upside down? Okay. Perfect. All right. Yes. Okay. And if it falls down, guys, I'm gonna edit that out, or I'll fix it later. Okay. This is perfect angle, finally. Okay. So, guys, what I wanted to talk about has to do with the law of assumption, okay? So, and in terms of standards and law of attraction and all that jazz, okay? So yeah, when I woke up, this was on my heart, and I was gonna wait a little bit, but then I said, you know what? While I have this topic on my radar, I think it's better if I just talk about it now, even though it's like super early. Okay, so where do I even start, guys? So basically, I'm seeing a pattern, okay? And this is also something that's like in society, right? And I think that people have to understand that they are co-creating, okay? Co-creating their reality, their own reality with God, okay? A lot of people don't really understand the severity, okay? The severity of letting people lowball them, letting outside people tell them who they are, all right, and things of that nature. Just want to check my volume, guys, make sure my volume's okay, because I'm facing a little bit of a street. Okay, so I think people don't understand that, and I'm gonna kind of touch on something that I brought up in the previous video the previous law of assumption video, which is that everybody in their own head has their own goals, their own ideas of what success looks like. You know, everybody in their own hearts and minds can kind of picture what they think someone else should be doing, or, you know, the so-called quote unquote value or ideals, or even look of how another human being is behaving, displaying, living their life. And so with that said, when it comes to, you know, enhancing your life, manifesting what you want, living a life on purpose, you have to understand that you cannot accept other people's especially low expectations of you. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to talk about a couple, I'm going to talk about a lot of serious topics in this video because it kind of overlaps and goes hand in hand. So for example, I'll give you the epidemic of, let's say, for example, single mothers. Okay, not single mothers who their spouses passed away, or not single mothers who somebody, you know, lost their life to an illness. I'm talking about women that especially young, you know, not like, you know, they're not mature women. Let's say, for example, women that are in like abusive relationships, or they gave a child to a man, or they had a child, I should say, they created a child with a man that did not see them worthy enough to marry, okay? Or basically not in the confines of support. Because whether we like, you know, the legal ramifications of marriage or not, what we have to understand is that there are certain things put in place, you know, on this earthly realm that does cover if somebody passes away, or when you pass down inheritance to your children, you know, different things like that. No marriage is perfect, right? No relationship is perfect, but this is going to touch upon this example I'm giving is kind of like a flower, you know what I'm saying? And it kind of can stem into different areas and categories of our life. So for example, this trend or epidemic of women who are okay with having a child for a man that doesn't want to marry them, or is a player, or basically is not even fatherly or husband material, but they have settled out of convenience, okay? Or they've agreed to something that their higher self would never agree to. Okay, for example, whereas in a parallel reality, in a better position, they have a spouse that loves them. Whether it's you know, a guy or not, they have a spouse that treats them with respect, right? That believes in sharing household chores, that believes in raising a child with the mother, right? A partner, a spouse that respects the woman's family, respects her, you know what I'm saying? Pampers her, gives her words of affirmation, basically somebody who's decent, okay? Decent. So on one hand, you have a non-committal relationship, a turbulent relationship, a fly-by-night relationship with somebody who basically is a loser, okay? And doesn't believe in taking care of his own, doesn't have anything going for him. And if he does, he's selfish, okay? And then on the other hand, you have the reality of having a partner that goes out and works, that is ambitious, that is clean, that takes showers, that has hygiene, that loves you, that pampers you, that wants to have a family with just you and makes you feel good about your relationship, okay? So those are two different realities. So to make it simple, I'm giving, especially women, I'm giving you guys this this easy template because it's very different. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of choices. There's a lot of choices that human beings make that are bad choices, and certain choices will lead to other bad choices. And so what we have to understand is, regardless regardless of the economy, regardless of whatever is going on around us, what we have to understand is that our choices have consequences. And so when you realize that every choice you make, whether it's career, where you live, how you eat, how you carry yourself, who you engage with, who you spend money on, when you really take a step back, guys, and you realize that you are co-creating your reality with God, and that you are the head captain of your life, and that you are the master of your own ship, you're not going to give your energy to majority of things out here. You're not going to give your energy, your time to majority of things out here. And so we have to be very, very aware of that, okay? Because through my own experience and just life in general, what I realize a lot of times is that if you settle or you accept something that you know you don't accept, therefore you are accepting it, okay? And there's really no way around it. Okay, there's no way around it. So make sure that when you're living your life out here and you're making tough decisions, you really have to consider the repercussions. I was listening to a video. I was listening to different videos of this radio show, and this commentator brought up something that I really, really resonated with. And what he was talking about was basically how a lot of people are unaware of what they're doing, right? And they're not starting from the end, they're starting from the beginning. So even in Neville Goddard teachings, he talks about this. He talks about how you have to live in the end, which means when you go to do something, when you think about your day, when you think about what you want to accomplish in a year, are you living in the end, which means are you aware of the reality you're creating? Are you aware of how it's going to impact other years of your life? Like, are we really aware of that? You see what I'm saying? And so when you are aware of that and you take time for yourself to really dive into that whole concept of living in the end and creating your own reality, and really having boundaries, because boundaries is also a part of this game, guys. Okay, a lack of boundaries will have people have their head spinning, you know what I'm saying, have their head spinning, and then they'll get to a point, they will get to a point in their life where they're wondering where the years went. They're wondering, why didn't they do what they wanted to do? They're wondering why they're stuck in a, toxic, abusive relationship. That's very common. Why is it very common? Because people don't take responsibility. And it's also because for a lot of families, they were not taught this, okay? They were not taught a lot of things that set them apart from society, that set them apart from other more complicated life experiences, And so I will say this, if you're living in a situation where nobody taught you any better, nobody gave you the right tools on how to succeed and how to live a life on purpose, you have to seek it out for yourself. You have to seek it out for yourself. I can't even listen, as great as my parents were, and as great as and my parents are very intelligent. My parents have really superseded. I mean, they're like pillars of strength, what I'm saying. There's certain traits that both my parents possess that I'm like, I wish, I can only dream of having that kind of, fortitude, with certain things. It's like, wow, how did you do that? What I'm saying? But even with all that, guys, there may be certain things that you want to go after, that you want to learn, or that you want to begin to itch and stitch in your reality that even maybe your family or your peers did not teach you. Okay, so if you got to a certain age or a certain point in your life where you're like, man, I wish I had this knowledge, or man, I wish I knew that, or I wish I knew that, go for it. You know what I'm saying? Go for it. Don't let anybody hold you back. You see what I'm saying? Do what you want to do. So in that case, it may take a person like that a little bit longer because it's not in their environment. You see what I'm saying? Let's be more severe, like poverty. Okay, I told you it's gonna be a little bit of a deep video, you know, like let's say for example poverty, you know, let's say for example somebody grows up in severe poverty, you know, and doesn't have the right information about nutrition or whatever. But how many other countless examples of you know, public figures or whatnot that have come from poverty, you know what I'm saying, and are multimillionaires, are healthy as ever, you know what I'm saying? They have a strong body, a strong mind. So it's all about perspective, guys. Majority of people are not going to have the ideal family, ideal living situation, ideal education. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not something that everybody has. You know, it's not something that everybody, the right word is privileged. Yes, you know, not everybody is privileged to have a certain life experience. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this, I am a strong believer, okay? I am a strong believer that if you didn't come from the best family, or you didn't have the best upbringing or best young adult life, I'm a strong believer that if you're ever considering to have a child, or you're ever considering to mentor the youth, or you maybe you work with children or you work with young adults, you know, I'm a strong believer that you can be that example for them. Okay, and you can learn things slowly but surely that are gonna help other pupils. So if let's say for example, if you grew up in poverty and it scarred you and it hurt you, and you are sad that you couldn't be like other kids or whatever the case may be, well, guess what? When you have your own kids and when you're out here dating and you're getting to know people and you want to pick your spouse, make sure that that person does not have a poverty mindset. Make sure that that person, okay, make sure that there's certain things about finances and about stability that they possess. Okay, don't then therefore go back to the past, revert back to the past and make the same mistakes. You have to grow out of that. Okay, so it's not an excuse. And listen, I have had my own experiences, so I can only imagine how somebody would feel when they're hearing somebody else say that there's no excuse. But I'm going to be the first person to tell you there's no excuse. There's no excuse. There's no excuse good enough to consistently make bad decisions, right? Or if you had a bad upbringing, or your family's a mess, there's really no excuse as to why you would then therefore be a grown adult and recreate that trauma and recreate those issues. There's no reason for that. Okay, I'm gonna be the first person to tell you there's no excuse good enough. There's no excuse good enough. Okay, so when you're out here living life, don't compare yourself. Don't compare yourself to people who maybe had a silver spoon or a gold spoon. Okay, don't compare yourself, because you don't know how they got that money. You don't know how their parents treat each other. You don't really know, okay, the backstory. You see what I'm saying? You don't know the backstory. There's tons of multimillionaires. There's tons of people who are more well off that have addictions, that have a lot of addictions, okay, that are participating in infidelity, that have sexual diseases. So looks are deceiving. Looks are deceiving. So with that said, just make sure that the reality that you're choosing to live and the reality that you have is a reality that actually benefits you. Okay? It's not to compare, it's not to imitate, it's to make your own reality, your own destiny, your own family, your own legacy. Okay? That's what it should be about. It should not be about how can I fake? How can I be fake happy? No, you have one life to live, right? You have one life to live in this bodily vessel, okay? You should be authentically happy. You should be authentically excited to get up in the morning. And, you know, if you're not excited to live your life, if you're not excited to get up in the morning, that means that there's some parts of your life that really need to change. You know what I'm saying? And I've been there. So I'm speaking from experience. You know, if you're getting up in the morning and all you feel is like problem here, problem there, can't get by, you know, confusion, understand, okay, you have to understand that God is not a God of confusion. And if God is for you, the Almighty, infinite, the Alpha and Omega, if the Almighty is for you, then you have to renew your mind, okay? You have to renew your mind, and you have to understand, okay? You have to understand that God would want better for you than what you're either allowing, settling for, or repeating, okay? So I think romantic relationships is a very easy example. That's why I'm using a lot of romantic relationship examples for this video, because it's very evident. It's very evident to see a person's mentality in their relationships, okay? How they handle a romantic relationship. It's very easy to spot if somebody has self-respect, if somebody, it's very easy to spot what people think they deserve, you know? And we have to get serious about it, because you know what? Every day, every minute, we are putting energy, we are participating, we are putting stock in our future. And it's not to be paranoid, it's not to be scared, it's not to be shaken up. It's to actually humble us, and it's actually to give us, I want to say, let me look for the right word. It's actually to give us a different perspective on how fragile and how special and how important our lives really are. You know what I'm saying? So if the world you live in is trying to lowball you and trying to tell you that you're not good enough, and they're making fun of you, and they're gimmicking you, and they're trying to suppress you and oppress you, why would you accept that? Why would you then therefore say, I'm going to accept that reality because everybody else is accepting that reality, so therefore I'm going to fall in line? No, you should be saying the opposite. You should be saying the complete opposite. If you know anything about the law of attraction, law of assumption, maybe if you're brand new and you're just now learning about it, right? You should be running away from that. Okay? You should be running another direction. Because what that simply means is that that person has the wrong paradigm, has the wrong perspective, has the wrong information, has the wrong everything, okay? And then therefore, in your own mind, okay, in your own mind, you have to understand that that person is operating at a low frequency. That person is operating in a lifestyle or mentality that's not going to benefit you. So let's take it a step further. Let's talk about jobs, career, finances, okay? I'm also a strong believer that your team and people that you work with set the tone, okay? And if they set a bad tone, then you're going to have to set your own tone, which, you know, naturally it may not work out in the end, the long run, because they have a certain kind of perspective and a certain kind of way they live that does not gel with you. So when you're looking to advance in business or in a career or in a job, you have to keep in mind the mentalities and the personalities that you're battling. Because if you're in a toxic work, and this is why the word if you're in a toxic work environment, right, which I have experienced, okay, and the people around you are just rude, negative, etc., 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 you're gonna either have to have buns of steel, okay, and play their game. If the pay is worth it, you're going to play their game. But guess what? You can manifest a different position. You can manifest a different company. There is other alternatives, okay? But don't ever think that you're stuck, because what they want you to think is, I'm stuck. I have to put up with this because of what I'm getting paid. Now, if the Holy Spirit says to you, be quiet, play their game, you play the game, right? But if your spirit is being tormented, you can't sleep at night, and HR or whatever else is not helping you, guess what? Either you go to a different department away from the negative Nancy's, or you manifest a different job that's even paying you better. And or the obvious one is you don't talk to them much. You know what I'm saying? Which naturally a lot of times doesn't work, because they want you to talk to them. They want you to be, enveloped in what the gossip or whatever. But the point blank period, guys, is that your life is too precious, okay? Your life force, your life is too precious to put up with nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're adults. We're young adults. So when it comes to finances and things like that, okay, you have to understand that they will have their own idea of what you're doing, okay? And maybe to them it's normal. You know what I'm saying? Maybe to them being a rude person or being toxic is normal. But guess what? In your reality, it's not. You know what I'm saying? In your reality, you treat people with respect. And there's a certain kind of protocol, certain kind of behavior that you do not entertain, okay? But if, like I said, once again, if they've been raised a certain way, if they have a certain kind of, personality that's just rude outright, well, like I said, you have to be smart, okay? You have to be smart. You have to be strategic, because then therefore you're going to be stuck in a life, in an environment that's going to try to convince you, okay, that being negative is normal, okay? They're going to try to convince you that, having a hard knock life or a hard work environment is normal. It's not normal, okay? It is not normal. So you have to really take your personal power seriously, and you really have to take your life seriously, because whether it's about the pay or it's about the environment, how many people, right? How many people go about living their life and they don't realize that their environment or their work environment or even their family life environment is the opposite of the reality they want to live. Because guess what? And this may sting a little bit, but here's the reality, and here's what I've realized. Like I said, at the same exact time, there's other people who are in work environments that everybody is happy, everybody's supportive. Not everybody, but 90%, right? 90% are about clocking in and working diligently, having good manners, having, good speech, good rapport, and going home. And then on the opposite side, you have people who are in work environments where everybody's gossiping, everybody's backbiting, everybody's yelling, everybody's disorganized. So you have to ask yourself, what reality do I want? What reality do I want to participate in? Do I want to be in if you don't work for yourself, and if you work for yourself, I don't know, but even more so, I mean, you have to take control of that, right? But let's say, for example, that in the reality that you want to live, you're not going into a work environment that is consistently toxic. There's no way, right? If you're if you self-evaluated yourself and you've, sat and good and thought hard about it, there's no way that you're going to want to get up every single day and go into a cesspool of toxic negativity. There's no way. So I know, so trust me, I know that people don't want to be, not paying their bills. I know people don't want to not be able to eat. Like, hello, I'm saying, like I've been employed and self-employed at the same time, multiple times in my life. So I know exactly, what I'm saying. Like, I know, and just employed without, being like, I know how it goes. You see what I'm saying? But what you have to understand is that if somebody else or a different version of you, okay, not comparison, it's just evaluation. If somebody else can make a high income, have a high income and a healthy work environment, why can't you? Why can't you? And I'm not trying to sound facetious or arrogant or none of that. I'm just saying, think about it, guys. Think good and hard about it. There's people who can't wait to go to work. If they're working for somebody else, of course, they can't wait to go to that office or whatever, or that Zoom meeting. They can't wait to be around their colleagues. Why? Because they're positive, and because they're making money, and they're collaborative, and they're upbeat. Whereas people are settling because either they have to temporarily, which is fine, but what I'm saying is long term, you don't have to live that way. If you have bills to pay, obviously, like I said, you got to play it smart. You got to, you got to play that game. Okay? If your higher self is telling you to play their game, and you're able to, ease yourself out of that toxic environment and still make your money. And it depends on what job. If you're in a job where you're around a lot of people who are toxic and it's just, constant negativity, you have to understand that that's no way to live. So either HR or either you or that whatever, but you have to have authority. That's the point that I'm making, guys, is that you have to have authority, because nobody deserves, right? Nobody deserves to be in a working environment that is tormenting them. That's not fair. It's not fair if your next door neighbor or whoever out here, a stranger, is making the same salary as you and they're living better, and then you're having to go to work and you're fighting off piranhas making half the pay or making the same pay. That doesn't make any sense. So this is deep. This is not a feel good video. This is a reality check video. Okay. Yes, it is, guys. This is not a video that I feel like needs to be airy fairy. This video right here is about taking control of your life. Because I love you guys. Whoever you all watching me, replay and live, I love you guys. And I'm just sharing with you all what's on my heart, because we have to stop accepting nonsense. We have to stop accepting nonsense, because guess what? It's those same negative relationships or negative work environments or negative bosses, whatever, that will take away your life. That will literally chip away at the life that you should be living. So don't settle, is what I'm saying. Don't settle. There's other options. There's another way, right? Find an alternative loophole, okay? When it comes to, like, let's say if it's work, explore your options, but don't accept it. You know what I'm saying? Don't accept being tormented, because then it's going to bleed into your home life. When you go home, you're going to be stressed out. You're going to be yelling at your kids if you got kids. You're going to be feeling dysfunctional. That's not a way to live. I don't care what anyone says. It's not worth it at that point. Okay. So you got to guard your heart. You got to guard your mind. You got to guard your energy. But you have to understand that you do have the power to change it. And it may not be fast change. Okay. Let's be real. It may not be change that is immediate. Right? It may not be change that can happen in a twinkling, a blink of an eye. It may be change over several months, several years. But guess what? Here's a word of encouragement. But guess what? If you begin and you start from now, and you begin to invest in those building blocks from now, you begin to pay attention from now, you're going to have a better future. That's just common sense, right? If you say, Simone, I don't like my current life, well, my question back to you would be, how are you going to change it? What sacrifice, what steps are you willing to take to change your life? Right? This is what I had to do. This is what everybody else had to do. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not telling you something that's just for certain people. This is for everybody. Okay? This is something that everybody that is taking power of and control and happiness of their life has had to do. They've had to ask some tough questions. You see what I'm saying? They've had to get real. They've had to get real. And can I go a little bit deeper, y'all? All of this data and all of these statistics talking about, I remember back when I was like 14, even 21, I would keep seeing these articles about, 80% of people hate their job and hate this and hate that. Okay, but whose problem is that? You know what I'm saying? Like whose fault is that? Ouch, I know, right? But let's get real. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Do you not have power? Do you not have autonomy? Do you not have a brain? Do you not have fingers that can work on a keyboard? Like, it's your life. It's your life. If you're saying, Simone, I deserve better, I want better, I'm going to respond back to you and say, well, what steps are you willing to take and sacrifice to get better? Okay, I'll give you an example. Every time I would have certain meals or I would have certain protein. Let me take a little drink, guys. My throat's a little bit dry. Let me give you guys an example, right? Let me give you guys an example. Guys, a practical example with something right now. Okay, let's say, for example, in terms of the whole taking back power, right? Making tough choices, right? Okay, let me be real. When I grew up in the house I grew up, okay, I grew up in a family that great cooks, okay? Everybody's really amazing cooks. And I grew up in a household where when I didn't want to have meat per se, luckily there was food options, and I had parents that were willing to listen to me, right? And not all the time, but majority of the time, if I said to them, I wanted pasta, I wanted apples, I wanted fresh produce, especially my dad, he was really big on, okay, we're not gonna eat this, you're gonna eat that instead, right? Okay. Now, as a young adult, as a woman, especially in America, right, we're used to eating meat. People are used to having chicken with rice, right? Or a hearty steak or pork. Most people, they eat meat, and they don't really question, well, why they eating it, okay? And I got to a point as a young adult, in my 20s, okay? I'm not gonna be in my 20s forever. Mentally, I am. I through affirmations, I feel like I'm stuck in 21. But you get wisdom from living life longer. But that's another story. That's about a different topic, okay? But bottom line, I got to a point in my life where when I would order something or when I would eat something or whatever the case may be, and it came to like meat, meat being involved in my meal, a lot of times I realized with myself that it wasn't the meat necessarily that I was enjoying. It was the sauce. It was the sauce on the meat or the seasoning that I took a liking to, right? And then there'd be some times where after I would have, especially chicken, not so much beef, but I would say especially pork or chicken, no matter how it was cooked, I would feel some kind of way. I would feel kind of sick. And I would realize that my body really wasn't digesting the food the way that I would have preferred. So guess what? As a young adult, right, as a woman, I had to make the decision that, guess what? I don't want to eat meat anymore. It don't matter if I go over my parents' house. It don't matter if I go to my friend. It don't matter who, whatever. When it's time to eat, I made a conscious and clear decision that I am not going to include meat in my meals because I don't like how it makes me feel and I don't like the taste. I don't like how it tastes. Okay. So with that comes sacrifice. I had to change how I go grocery shopping. I had to change what times I can eat, because even with certain restaurants, past a certain time, they don't cook seafood, because I'm a pesco vegetarian. So I literally, and by the grace of God and permission of God, I was prompted to only eat what I can catch. Literally, like God, it was like a download, said to me, oh, anything you can catch from water within means you can have, but land animals like chicken, all that, like animals that live and breathe on land, you do not touch. But that was just a personal, confirmation for me. That was something that for me, I felt led to do. Now, somebody else next to me wouldn't maybe not feel that way, but that's a decision that I had to make. So what does that mean? If I'm in a social setting, I'm with my parents, whatever, if they're eating that, I don't chastise them. I don't talk down to them. I don't make up my face to them. I have, you have to use wisdom. You just order something different, right? You have to look at the menu. You have to, and if they don't have any seafood options, in my case, okay, you're going to have to go full vegetarian. A salad, a soup, some side dishes, okay, whatever. But that's just an example. It's like I had to stop being on autopilot, just because this restaurant over here or this fit person over here or in a social setting over here may have sandwiches or whatever. If I know for my body it doesn't sit right with my spirit, and even health, especially health-wise, it's not good for me and it doesn't vibe with me and my body, then I had to make that tough decision and say, no matter where I am, no matter what I do, I'm not going to indulge in those food options. So that's like with anything in life, okay? Against all social manufacturing, against whatever's going on around you, you have to stand up for yourself. You have to acknowledge what does and doesn't work for you. So if something doesn't work for you, you don't have to tolerate it. Okay, shocker, I know. You don't have to tolerate it. You can simply take the proper actions and steps to change your life. And I'm not going to sit here and say to you that it's easy, because it's definitely not. It's actually very hard at times. Majority of the times at first, it's very hard. But anything you do at first is always going to be hard. Okay? Anything you do at first is always going to be hard. Okay? And for those curious, like when it comes to eggs and cheese, with an exception, I eat within range, but I'm not really too taken with cheese either. I'm not really a big cheese eater or egg eater. It's on like rare occasions. So, they would say that's more vegan, but I would say vegetarian because, I have like plant-based butter. I don't like to really eat regular butter in my meals, but I found other organic and plant-based butters that I think taste way better. So once again, it's something that you have to do for yourself. You can't have other people do this for you. No one's going to do it for you unless you have a personal chef. And if you have a personal chef, you have to still do it for yourself. You still got to make a list. You still got to tell them what you like, what you don't like. So it is a process, guys. Okay. Everything that I'm talking about in this video is not easy. It's not easy, but it's necessary. And so I just wanted to make this video this morning to tell people that you have the right to live a life of luxury, okay, of comfort, of love, of class, of happiness. I don't care what you look like, where you came from. Don't let anybody tell you differently. Because if you believe the lies that they try to tell you about yourself, about what you should deserve and what you should accept, you're going to forever be a victim. You're going to forever be living a life that is not the best life you could be possibly living. Okay. So don't let anybody out here, or society, or social media, or even your family, okay, lower your expectations. If you have a desire on your heart and you have certain expectations, it's because God put it there. Okay. God is not going to put a burning, passion or idea or way of living on your heart if you didn't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? It's like what you want wants you. Okay. So just like if somebody wants to be a chef, you know what I'm saying? And a restaurant is looking for a culinary mastermind. They want a chef that, can look over the produce and can cook with cleanliness and can run a kitchen and can cooperate with other cooks. That restaurant is also wanting, okay, right? For example, the creme de la creme of a culinary wizard. So in this case, that chef wants a great restaurant, and that great restaurant wants a great chef. Voila. So that's how you have to see it. What you want wants you. And if you didn't want it, it wouldn't want you. So if you say, I want a partner that's monogamous, I want a partner that has A, B, C, and D, right? But the people you're entertaining, the people that maybe you're attracting or entertaining are the complete opposite. Guess what? Don't entertain them. Sorry. Don't entertain them. You could be friends with them. You could be cordial, right? But if we're talking about marriage, commitment, if you're dating somebody, you're with somebody, you say, that trait is a big red flag for me, and that's not a person or a trait that I want to put up with. And so I'm going to have to, part ways with this person because they don't have the main traits or ambitions that I'm looking for. Okay. You don't have to be rude. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to try to change the person. You don't have to be rude, but you can have authority and say, guess what? I don't want to, I just don't see it. You may have to come clean and say, I see you more as a friend. I'd rather be friends, or just say that I'm, wait for this thing to pass. I have other things going on, you know what I'm saying? And let it, but don't be ashamed. But don't be ashamed of what you require out of life, because God put you here. Okay. The process of creating a child and bringing a child into the world is supernatural. Make no qualms about that, guys. You're one of one. Whether you have a twin or actual twin, it doesn't matter. You are one of one. Nobody can be like you. You are special. Okay. You are special and wonderfully made. There's never going to be another Simone like me on this planet, and never will be. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of one. So don't ever think small of yourself. And there could be those of you out here where you've never seen yourself as powerful. You never seen yourself motivated. You never seen yourself as all that in a bag of chips. But I'm going to challenge you today, okay? I'm going to challenge you today to see yourself as all that in a bag of chips. Because when you see yourself as all that in a bag of chips, everything around you, okay, has to bend to your belief. I just said something right there. Everything around you has to bend to your belief. So if you believe that you're all that in a bag of chips, and you're talented and you're beautiful and you're a go-getter and you have so much to offer, how could things in the universe not conspire to make that so? Because the universe and people can just conspire to say the opposite, the very opposite, and say that you're not all those things, right? So just like how the universe can conspire to say you're not those things, the universe can conspire to say that you are those things. The universe can conspire to tell you that you are You are all those things you say that you are. And don't accept anything less. So environment, okay? Environment is really, really important. And I keep bringing it up because environment is synonymous with people, which therefore is synonymous with personality, right? Personality, goals, how they think, how they walk, how they talk. It's all interconnected. So if you're in an environment that's not going to support you, it's going to be naturally harder. But if you can find yourself in certain pockets in your environment with certain people who want to lift you up, who want to support you, who want to speak life into you, then you have to gravitate towards that. Okay? But don't force anything. Okay? Don't force a person or the world or anything like that to see what you see, because they're not you. Okay, it's about attraction, law of attraction. It's about being attracted. It's about a magnet, right? It's about you pairing up and linking up with like-minded things that naturally, the key word is naturally, cooperate with you. Because how hard would it be if you're around people or you're around a situation that just does not want to bend to what you're saying, does not want to support what you want to do? That's what you call torture. That's what you call torture. So you have to link up and attract and accept the attract of things that do gel with you, with things that do want to support you. Okay? So like I said, just like the negative can be easily proven, so can the positive. And so my goal in this video this morning, okay, is to reprogram our mind that let's stop thinking about the worst case scenario. Let's stop thinking about what's going to go wrong. And why don't we begin to think about what's going to go right? All the amazing situations and people that want things to go right for us, that want to help us, that want to collaborate with us, that want to manifest good things alongside us. We have to shift our mind completely, okay? And so if you ever wondered why so many people or majority of people are not getting what they want out of life, that's why. It's because of the way their mind's been programmed. Okay, somewhere along the way, they were programmed to accept mediocrity. They were programmed to accept bad treatment. They were programmed to accept a cheating partner, a dishonest partner. They put up with that, okay? Because someone somewhere either exhibited it to them that's normal. You know what I'm saying? And so because they told me it was normal, they accepted it as the reality, as the truth. Okay. And then later down the line, they will see that that's not the truth. And that's not what it should be. Okay. So having standards, writing out a life plan, writing out a year plan, making plans is the best thing you could do. Is one of the best things you can do, because nobody's going to do it for you. No one's going to come to you and say, what would you like? How would you like to live? How much money would you like to make? No one's going to do that for you but you. You know, don't wait for anybody to make something happen for you, because 9 out of 10 times they're not going to make it happen. Okay? Because why? They're in their own head. They have their own problems. They have their own family. You see what I'm saying? So you have to take up that goblet and make it happen for yourself without expecting anybody to make it happen for you. That's the harsh reality. But guess what? It's only harsh at first. Okay? It's only harsh at first, but over time, it will be very easy to sift out what is for you and what's not for you. Okay? So I really wish that it could have been more of like I could have done a, you know, rainbows and Skittles kind of video, but this video is about getting serious. You know, this is for those who are not just beginner level now. These are people who are intermediate expert. You know what I'm saying? And you're not going to settle for a life that you know is beneath you. And just this morning, I said to myself, I'm so happy that regardless of where my parents deposited me when I grew up, I'm so happy, right, that I have been able to take control, you know what I'm saying, and not accept a certain way of living, because so many other people have accepted just pure trash, you know, like pure trash. But with all due respect, there had to be something in their environment or how they were raised, or there's got to be something that has convinced them, you know what I'm saying, that that's okay. And yes, you know, your upbringing plays a good percentage, but it's not everything, you know, because not everybody has had the best parents or the best upbringing. That's just not reality. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have had rough childhoods, have had a rough time. And so even more so, people that have had that, you really got to take control of your personal power, because the world will try to tell you the opposite. The world will try to say to you that you don't deserve that. But you need to take this low-paying job right over here because that's all we have to. If that's all you have to offer, you could pass me by. I'll give you guys an example of a position that I applied for. This was years back. I'm just giving you guys a personal example if you don't believe me, or you want more, you know, you want an example. I was applying for a manager position. It was managerial. And the guy never went to college. The guy who I guess was supervisor or something, he never went to college. Never, no tea, no shade. Not a good or a bad thing. He never went to college. And so because he never went to college, he looked down on people that went to college. Literally. And so the pay rate that he paid other employees or whatever the situation was ridiculously low. And they wanted the same kind of, you know, crazy work hour shifts and whatever. And after all of that, I got offered the job. And the guy thought that what he was offering was some like big thing, you know? And in my head, I'm like, this guy is trying to lowball not just me, but other workers, because he has a low ambition level. His mentality sucks. His mentality just simply sucks. So I can already tell that he is not the manager or the co-manager I want to be working with, because he doesn't have the right mentality. End of story. And so when I declined and I explained, you know, very humbly why I declined, he was very sad because he was excited to work with me. But in my head, I'm like, I'm not excited to work with you. I don't want to work with you because your mentality is a mentality of accepting, once again, mediocrity, being pushed around, being talked down to. You see what I'm saying? His mentality, his standard was very low. So I'm giving y'all a real example of a situation where this is work. I'm giving you guys a work example. And I declined. I didn't take the job because I'm like, I'm worth way more than that. Like these people here that work for him currently still and guess this is one of and guess what? Now on the news, they're filing for bankruptcy. They're filing for bankruptcy. So you see how that low mentality trickles down into economics. So because they don't reserve good talent, they don't reserve good workers, they don't sell nothing, guess what? The store is filing for bankruptcy. So I'm telling y'all what I know. I'm not just telling y'all what I think. I'm telling y'all what I know. You see any corporation out here, any company out here that refuses to pay people what they deserve and you know, doesn't like honor hard workers, they're gonna close their doors. Eventually, guys, listen to this. Eventually, they're gonna have to close their doors because any good company knows how to reserve good talent. If a company cannot reserve good talent, they're not gonna make any money. It's that simple. And the bullshit. Excuse my language, guys, but the bullshit he told me about what he was trying to tell me, that was proven wrong the very next year. This was years ago. He was like, oh, that's not real. You know, he was like, oh, I don't know if that's, you know, possible. And I said to him, Sir, my God is possible of anything. And the very next year, I had a job that was double that. Okay? Double that. Literally. Literally. The pay was double. So I'm telling y'all, whether it's work, relationship, diet, environment, do not let nothing out here, do not let anything out here try to lowball you. Okay? If you know what you deserve, don't accept anything less. Literally. Literally. Okay? And of course, I'm saying you have to, when it comes to, it's the same with money, you have to figure out what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? And what alternatives are out there. But what I'm saying is you have to set the standard, because they're not going to set the standard for you. You know what I'm saying? If they're not a good person, or they're not a good corporation, they will try to suppress you. They will try to lowball you. And the same thing is with relationships. Literally. If you're dating somebody and they've gotten away with doing fuck all, and no matter how good looking they are, and they come to you and they have the same mentality, guess what? They're not going to raise the bar, because nobody has raised the bar for them. So if you raise your expectation, you raise your own bar with them, and you let them know that it's not acceptable, and they laugh for whatever, they're I'm not going to call them trash, but you know, they're not on your level. They're not going to be on your level of what you think you deserve, because in their peanut gallery mind, that's a big deal. You know, you ever saw those social media posts where people are boasting and bragging about a McDonald's date, an Applebee's date, and they're making a big deal about a guy paying for a $20 meal? I mean, that just tells you what you need to know right there. There's some men out here that will pay for a meal for $200 for one plate, not even for the whole bill. You know what I'm saying? Not that they should, but I'm saying, look at the difference. Look at what you're raving and boasting about. You know what I'm saying? So until you live a life and you have what you really want, don't make a big deal about what's temporary. You know, recently, God was really depositing this word in my heart, and he was saying to me, you know, don't over invest in what is temporary. You know what I'm saying? If you know something's temporary, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't accept it. Don't overly get excited, because that's not even what you really want. You know what I'm saying? You're just putting up with it because you have to put up with it. But in reality, you should always be striving for more. If you want more, of course. If you don't want more, that's fine. But if you're striving for more, and you know you deserve more out of life, then you're not gonna go goo gaga over something that's bare minimum, because it's not that impressive. You know what I'm saying? It's not that impressive. So you're still grateful, you're still happy. But what I'm saying is, the buck don't stop there. You don't begin to think that that's just the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? You say to yourself, you know what? There's more out there for me. You know what I'm saying? There's more out there. Be grateful for what you have, but don't get too comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Begin to plan your next strategy, because you know there's more out there in life for you. So, you know, this is not something that I don't think that even parents can really teach people. I think it's just an inside job, really. I think it's an inside job, because everybody has their own mentality of what is, you know, exceptional and great, and everybody has their own standard. You see what I'm saying? But what I'm saying to you is that be mindful of what you think is a big deal. You know what I'm saying? I was even thinking to myself this morning, like, look at how many of us rant and rave over 20 an hour, 25 an hour, when people are making thousands an hour, hundreds an hour. You see what I'm saying? Like, once you realize that, wait, there's actually more of it you can make, and that you can enjoy out of life and can attain, you move on. You know what I'm saying? You move up and you move on, and you say, actually, that's great, but you know what I'm saying? There's more. There's more that I know that I deserve. You know what I'm saying? But that's when you really begin to take care, when you really begin to take care of yourself and pay attention to your life. There's a lot of things, I'm telling you all, there's a lot of things that you're going to begin to say, you're going to begin to notice and say, wow, you know, that's bare minimum. Like, if you're constantly evolving for the better, you're going to realize at some point that, wait, you know, that's actually not that special. You know what I'm saying? In that season of my life, it was all that in a bag of chips. But like now, it's like, that's it. That's the best you can do. And guess what? That's not the best you can do. I'm here to tell all of you out here this morning, that is not the best that you can do. You don't have to accept that. There's more for you out there. I'll be the first. If nobody's telling you, I'll tell you. This morning, this night, what time you're watching this video, I'll be the first person to tell you there's more out there for you than what you are currently in. But the first step is in you believing that there's more. The first step is you believing that there's more and that you can have more, and not in a greedy way, but in a way that is an abundance mindset. Because if you have an abundance mindset, you could do more for your loved ones. You could do more for yourself. You could set a better example for the community. You know, there's a lot that comes with this level up of mentality. You know what I'm saying? It comes from a place of, I can have more. I deserve more. I will have more. You know what I'm saying? So don't ever let anybody make you feel bad if you want something comfortable and nice, and you want to live a life that is fun and, you know, is fulfilling. Don't ever feel ashamed of that, because the reality is other people are, you know what I'm saying? And so my thing is, I want the best life possible for me. You know what I'm saying? The best life possible. I want to, even before retirement, at least with my own life before retirement. And from when I was very young, from when I was very young, I've always thought of, you know, retirement, because when I've seen people, you know, do certain jobs in their old age and they can't, you know, relax, that's always affected me. I don't know why, but it's always kind of like been something in the back of my head, like, oh my God, you know, that's what happens when you don't take control of your life. You know what I'm saying? Like life then takes control of you, and then you don't have a lot of choices. So I'll put that in the video too. You know what I'm saying? If you're talking about old age and about, you know, if you're going to be a grandparent or not a grandparent, or you're going to be a senior, you know, begin to think like that. Begin to think to yourself, you know what, when I'm in my older age, or when I'm older, how do you want to retire? You know what I'm saying? What kind of quality of life do you see for yourself when you retire? You know, how many people think about that? You know, the data would say basically next to none. You know what I'm saying? The data would say that most people just kind of wing by here, and they don't put money aside. They don't put money away until their 50s, even 60s. And then when they're in their 60s or 50s, they're scrambling to find change, because in their 30s, 40s, and 20s, or even teenage years, they didn't think about saving money. They're making all the salary, making this big salary, right? But they weren't putting money away. So basically, they're working until they drop dead, because they mishandled their money. They didn't seek out a financial help, or they didn't read financial books. Or they didn't go to somebody who knows more than them. You know what I'm saying? They didn't do the due diligence of investigating, how can I have this X amount of money that's going to supply me for the rest of my life, an estimate, you know, for maybe 10, 20 years. You know what I'm saying? The data would show that majority of people don't do that. But let me tell you guys, the people that do, they have a very sweet life. The people that do have a very, very sweet life, an amazing life. Because why? They're not stressed over bills. They're not stressed about their mortgage. They're not stressed about their rent, wherever they live. They're not concerned. You see what I'm saying? They're not concerned, because why? In their youth, they put in the work. They put in the work to ensure that when they're in their 60s and 70s, let's just say a ballpark number, 60s and 70s, because people really can retire even earlier than that. But on average, 60s and 70s, guess what? Those who have planned in advance, they don't have any bills. Their house is paid off. Their car is paid off. They eat well. They travel. They get up when they want. They go to sleep when they want. That's the kind of life that I want. And that's the kind of life I want for y'all. Is when you get in your old age, you can look at your bank account. You can look at your savings. You can look at all the work you've done and say, wow, I did the right thing. You know what I'm saying? And so instead of you having to clock in, right? This is serious, guys. This is serious. Instead of you having to clock in your 60s, in your 70s, 80s, 60s, okay, to somebody else's clock, if you do it right, like let's say late 60s and up, right? If you do it right, instead of you having to punch in the clock, you'll be at home, or you'll be in your vacation house, you'll be around your grandkids, you'll be with your partner, living a sweet life, sipping on champagne. Hello. So don't take what I'm saying as a joke, y'all. Don't take what anybody out here that's making videos like this for self-improvement and self-actualization, self-care, life improvement for a joke. Really take what people are saying seriously, because so many people, they make this mistake. Okay, the way that I call it, basically what I call it is they don't live on purpose. Okay, life tries to bully them. That's how I see it. It's like life at that point is bullying them, is controlling them, opposed to they're controlling life and they're calling the shots and they're making, money moves and all this. No, the opposite is now life is pushing you around. And I've been there. We've all been there, right? But what I'm saying is we don't have to stay there. Okay? We've all been there, if we're being honest, most of us, right? But what I'm saying is this morning, guys, is we don't have to. And if you're watching at night, okay, good evening. We don't have to stay there. We may, and my mother is this is full circle. The other night, me and my mom were having some kind of conversation. I forgot what the topic was, but she said to me, Simone, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. In life, it's not about how you start, okay? Because starting could be great, could be average, could be whatever, but it's how you finish. It's how you've ran that race, the good old race you call life. It's how you finish. And the memories and the things you've done in your life, all your life, not just in your 20s or 30s, about what have you contributed, right, over the body of your life. And I said to her, you're so right. I said to her, you're so right. You're so right. Because people get caught up in, oh, okay, my 20s weren't good, my 30s weren't good. Some people got divorced in their 40s or their 20s. They think that their life is over. Your life is not over. Your life is only over if you say it's over. If you say that I can't get back up, I'm too tired, I'm too weak, I'm too defeated, then that's on you. Okay? Then that is, my friends, then that is on you. Really. But if you say, you know what, this is beneath me, I can do better, I'm ashamed, I'm disgusted, I messed up, I fucked up, maybe I was too lazy, maybe I accepted too much, maybe I tolerated too much. If you say that to yourself, okay, that's the first step. The first step is accountability, which most people don't do. So that one step alone, you're ahead of 80% of people. Like, I'm going to go as far as to say, every person that comes across this video by the grace of God, right? You're ahead of everybody else. You are. You are ahead of everybody else. Why? Because you care about your life. You care about your legacy. You care about your health, right? You're above everybody because they don't care. They're on autopilot. Whatever the commercial says to eat, they eat, right? All these restaurants advertise all these crazy, weird foods. on a commercial. They go, the first, what they do, they go run to the restaurant and buy it. They don't research the calorie. They don't research the ingredients. Whatever people say to them, go and buy, they buy. Right? As an example. They have no self-autonomy. They have no self-control. They have no they don't have any self-power. Okay? Any power over themselves. They let other things and other people tell them how to live, tell them what to do. Okay? So that is something that people that don't care about themselves do. They let other people tell them how to live, how to walk, how to talk, how to eat. You know, who said you have to have 3 meals a day? You know what I'm saying? Who said that you have to have 3 meals a day and snacks? Who said that? I don't eat 3 meals a day. I can if I want, but if I'm doing intermediate fasting, or if I'm fasting, or if I'm losing weight, why would I eat more than 3 times a day? Like, you know, you have to question, guys. You have to question what they're telling us to do. And you know, most celebrities who train for a big film, they never eat 3 times a day. You know, it's rare. You know, a lot of them don't do that. If they do that, they don't have solid food. They have a smoothie. They have granola. They have yogurt. They're not eating like a big plate of like, you know, beef franks and eggs and toast and soda. They're not eating that, guys. So they have their own agenda. They have their own end game. Their own end game, their own agenda is to sell you their crap, their fattening crap, and to have you keep buying it to fill their pockets and their bottom line. But when you unplug from that, you'll begin to question all of that. Why should I eat that? You know, why do I have to? Just because that restaurant's on the corner, why does that mean that I have to eat from it? I don't have to eat from it. I could choose to cook my own meal, or go to Whole Foods, or go to Aldi, or go to another restaurant that doesn't have greasy food. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to question. A part of taking personal power back is you begin to question. You begin to question the programming. You begin to question why they telling you that that's a good idea. You know, you begin to kind of like bite back, not verbally, not actually like talking. I'm saying in your mind. I'm saying in your mind, you begin to question what they're saying. So back to my point on retirement and how you want your life to end, guys. Take it from me. You don't want to end your life with no money. You know, yes, it's made up. Yes, it's a flawed system. We all know that, okay? Big deal. Big deal. You don't want to get to your old age, and not be able to rest your feet, rest your mind, rest your heart, because you follow the programming. You know, you spent everything, and you have no savings, you have no money, and you can't get by. You know what I'm saying? That is the debt trap, that they want most Americans and other people in the world to be in, especially in America. They want people to not retire in dignity, guys. And as you can see, I'm far from retirement. Well, I may not be. Hey, you never know. You never know. I may retire early, but even if I retired early, I would still want to be doing something. You know, I wouldn't just be idle. I would still be proactive. You see what I'm saying? But when I say retirement, what I mean is that you don't have to punch in. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to punch into anybody or anywhere, and you're taken care of. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to own a house, you want to rent, okay, you could pay rent for infinity. You know, for the rest of your life, you're not sweating bullets over, you know, your rental or your mortgage, right? You can buy basically anything within range, and you have money left over, is what I'm saying. So I think my last video was titled The Shift, or something about shift your reality. The time is now. I'm going to repeat that in this video as well. The time is now, guys. The time is now to shift your reality. The time is now to create your reality. Don't wait for anybody out here to safety guard your finances, to safety guard your health, to safety guard your family. You know what I'm saying? Do it for yourself, because majority of the time, people around you, or most people that we, interact with in life, don't care. They don't care if you're starving. They don't care if you're not going to retire. They don't care if you're in a bunch of debt. They don't care. They think about it, guys. They don't care. They don't care if you have no money. They don't care if you're starving. They don't care. So who's going to care? You. Who's the person that has to care? You. You're the only person that at the end of the day, when you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, who's going to have access to all your money, all your resources, all your assets, and you have to stand before it. I'm being for real, guys. You have to stand before it. You have to stand before it and say, job well done, or, oh man, I fucked up. That's the only two responses you're gonna really give is, wow, I did so well. I'm so financially safe. I really did a good job. I'm so proud of myself. I did what I had to do. Or are you going to be the person that said, like everybody else that says, oh man, I'm going to have to go work at the local grocery store because in my 70s, because I don't have enough for retirement. And, I don't know where the money went. I don't know what I was, I don't know what happened to my money, but I don't have any money. Which version of yourself do you want to be? You know what I'm saying? And don't panic, guys. Don't panic about it, but be proactive, man. It's nothing to panic about, but just think, just be honest with yourself. Do you want to be the person in your 70s who can go to any island and can go anywhere and travel, and can go to Europe and can go to Africa and can pull out around the island and have fun? Or do you want to be the person who's working at a grocery store or working in corporate all the rest of your life because you didn't save any money? You spent more than you saved. And so now what do they call it? The lender or the borrower becomes slave to the lender, right? That's a very popular phrase in around Christian circles. The borrower becomes slave to the lender. So I'm really speaking. I really feel in my heart, guys. I can feel it. I feel in my heart of hearts of hearts that I'm really only speaking to people who care about their life. If you're watching me live, you care about your life, because most people, they don't think about this stuff. And that's why when they get to that older age, they're confused. You know what I'm saying? They're living off their kids because why? And here's my thing. If you had a job, even let's say I'm gonna be real with y'all. Can I do that? Let's say, for example, the only money you make your whole life is $40,000 a year. After tax. Let's say, for example, all your life you made only $40,000 a year. People that make $40,000 a year all their life can still save and be multimillionaires in their 60s and 70s if they save money. Right? I was watching a video of a young lady who she said she made minimum wage all her life, and she paid off her debt, and she got her retirement going. So let me tell you guys, you don't have to even make a lot to still retire comfortably, but you do have to start somewhere. You do have to start somewhere, and you have to seek out the right financial tools. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying you have to make 1.3 or 3.7 million a year. Of course, that's even better for you, because hey, that's that whole year's salary put right in your wherever you want to put it. I'm not gonna give you guys financial advice like that. I'm not gonna tell you the wrong thing, but hey, okay, a high yield savings account, whatever, for example. That's up to you. But I'm telling you, people, I'm telling y'all, people are laughing out here. Some people are crying out here, and some people are laughing out here. Which one do you want to be? Me personally, I want to keep being the person who's laughing out here and is smiling and is proud of themselves. I don't want to be a person out here who's boo-hooing and woe is me and oh God and oh. I don't want to be that person. I want to be the person, y'all, that says, wow, I impress myself. I am shocked by myself because I did such a good job. That's what I want to, I want to be, guys. I want to be the person in my in old age that can say, wow. Whether I have kids or not, that's up to God. I have to find the right partner first. Okay, I have to find the right spouse first. The right spouse has to be, I have to, you know, build and attract the right person for me. You see what I'm saying? And that has to speak for itself. You know, that's up to God. But regardless if I have kids or not, I want to be the person to say when it's all said and done, wow, I did a good job. And I don't got to clock in nowhere I don't want to clock in. I don't got to go to a raggedy place because, you know, I was not responsible. That's not the life I want to have. I want to have a life where I say, wow, I sacrificed now in my 20s. And if you're not in your 20s watching, which most people are not, if you're in your 40s, 50s, same thing, right? You could turn it around today. Okay, if you're watching me in your 40s, 50s, you could turn it around, even 60s, you could turn it around today. Okay, if you want to retire by 76 and you're 65, you have close to a decade, right? You have close to a decade to get your act together. So still, guys, there's hope. You know, I was on a YouTube video and this guy on YouTube was saying, oh, I'm in my 40s. I think he said, I'm in my 40s. I don't have any money saved. Is it too late? No, it's not too late. I commented back and I said to him, no, it's not too late. Why is it too late? How is it too late? If you want to retire by 60, you have 20 years. How is that too late? You have 20 years. You have 20 years. You have 20 years to work and save money. How is, so people, see, they have a limited belief, guys. And most time it's not their fault. But at a certain age, you got to take responsibility, man. Like, to me, there's just no excuse because people can even have parents that are drug addicts, you know, to keep it on the real, man. There could be people who are really down and out. But you know what? There's a lot of people who had bad parents, you know, irresponsible parents, and they're really well off. You know, I have seen all sides of the spectrum. There's people who are really well off, and even if their parents messed up or whatever, they still have a really, really, really good life. So I just don't like me personally, guys, I don't like the idea of excuses. And I've had those choppy waters. You see what I'm saying? It's not always been smooth. Most of the time it's not been smooth sailing. You see what I'm saying? But I don't like the mentality of, oh, well, you know, I have bad parents and I have this and I have that and I have this, so this is why I can't succeed. I don't like that mentality because that means that you're a victim of life. You're at the mercy of, you're at the hands of mercy of other people. That means that other people are controlling you, right? That means that other people are telling you what to do. That your life is in their hands. That's crazy. That's crazy. Your life is not in anybody's hands but God and your own. Let's set the record today that your life, my friend, is not in anybody's control but yours and God. And if God is for you, who can be against you? Nobody. So every day you get up, you keep, and you know, right now I'm actually facing a street and there's a bus stop, which I didn't even recognize. I was parked right in front of like this on the other side of the trees and stuff. There's like a bus stop and I'm seeing people walk in and out, you know, waiting for the bus. There was a time in my life before college when I used to use the public bus. And at first I thought that it was, not, I wouldn't say, I didn't feel no kind of way, but, actually, I never felt no kind of way. I was just like, oh, you know, I was kind of looking out in the future, like, when am I going to have my car? You know what I'm saying? Or how would I, you know, have it easier? I never really didn't like it. It was just more of a, like, you know, waiting for my turn. You know what I'm saying? And I began to actually enjoy it. So, and these people are, you know, way older than me. You know what I'm saying? Waiting for the bus. So life is a funny way, guys. It's all about perspective. You know what I'm saying? It's all about and in certain countries, you know, public transport is pretty normal. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about mentality, guys. It's really about your mentality. You know what I'm saying? Do you think that you deserve more, or do you think that what I have is all you can have? Which one do you believe, guys? Which one do you believe? Do you believe that God has more for you? Or do you think that what you have now is all you can have and is all you're good for? Which one do you believe? Because see, when I was taking the bus, and because of my mentality, it wasn't too long that I was using the bus to get to college, because I busted my ass. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I busted my ass, yo, and I'm proud of myself. And this is the reason why I can be in a 2021 car, the year 2021. My car is damn near brand new, and not because I was given it. I was given it by God. I earned it. You know what I'm saying? And when I live longer, and the years go by, and maybe I keep this car and give this car to my daughter or my son or whatever, or a niece and nephew, a cousin of mine, and I upgrade and I get it, or I have multiple cars by the grace of God. That's because I earned that too. That's because but see, that's my faith, y'all. That's my faith level. You know, I was talking to a relative, and a relative of mine literally said to me that I don't have a faith level for that. I was talking about something with them, and they said to me, I don't have the faith level. I don't have the level of faith that you have for that. They told me this straight up. You see, and that's how I know that it's not always about who raised you. It's about sometimes what you think and how you see yourself, because, you know, we're same family, but my mentality is different than them. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think college is for everybody. I don't. But I think there's something to it that, at least in my family, most people are college educated. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really a fan of college and the college system. I don't really like the college system at all. But what I'm saying is they strive for more. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to come from that to be that. So if you're watching me and you're saying, nobody in my family's ever gone to college, but you want to be a doctor, you want to, you know, be in the arts, or you want to go to art school, you want to be an actor, you want to be a painter, go for it, y'all. Come on. Go for it. Shoot for the stars. Go for it. Because you could be the next Michelangelo. You could be the next Denzel Washington. You could be the next Cillian Murphy. You could be the next Paris Hilton, you know, hotel mogul, socialite, next Kim Kardashian, whatever the heck you want to be. You know, there's no limits, guys. There is no limits to what God can do in your life. And that's what I wanted to posit in you guys' hearts this morning is there's nothing you cannot have. There's nothing you cannot have. And the process to get that may not be easy. And most time it's not easy, guys. Okay? But you can do it. You can do it. You know, I have my own aspirations and my own, you know, lofty dreams, but I'm planning for my next decade. You know, I'm end of my 20s, and I'm planning for my 30s from now. And I'm like, you know, listen, if I don't do this, do that, at least I got to do one of these options. You see what I'm saying? And get paid very well, very, very well, because why? I want to bless other people. I want to help other charities. I want to, you know, I want to do things in my life. So it's like, okay, you know, dream a little dream. You know what I'm saying? Have those dreams and hold on to those dreams, but still work in reality and still take the practical steps to make those things happen. Now, you know, if one amazing thing happens in your life, you know, you're lucky. You've struck gold. You know what I'm saying? If you have 10 major things you want to do, but you only do 2 of those, that's a good life, isn't it? Don't say it's not a good life. It's a great life you had. So be honest with yourself. Be gentle with yourself, guys. You can have what you put action towards to have and what you believe you can have. But if you don't put the action and you don't believe you can have it, and all you do is look at the obstacles, then of course, you know, most likely you won't have it. But against all odds, okay, against all odds, if you know that there's more for you and that you deserve better, then you will have it. I guarantee you'll have it, but you're gonna have to put in that work. You know what I'm saying? And pray. Keep praying that the right people, the right resources, the right information you come across will rescue you. That's what I do. Because, you know, certain things that people want to do, the reality is they can't always do it by themselves. You know, there's got to be somebody or some kind of network that's going to boost you. That's just the reality. You know what I'm saying? Like they can tout, you know, the phrase self-made millionaire all they want, but nobody at that level works alone. You know what I'm saying? Nobody has no team that's a multimillionaire. You're not going to find it. It's rare. So when you get to the top, when you achieve what you want to achieve, or you attain what you want to attain, you have to then begin to pray for a good network and good connections and good energy, because that's what's going to propel you even farther. You know, you can do it by yourself, but when you get to a certain point, you're going to have a good team. And so you're going to have to be very, very vigilant and very, very discerning of who those people are in your life, because, you know, some people are snakes. We all know that. So at some point, you're going to have to kind of sift out, you know, the barley from the wheat and say, all right, you know, this person can stay. This person I think should go. That's what bosses do. It's good. You're going to get to a point, guys, in your life where you're going to have to say, okay, is this the financial expert for me? Is this the bank for me? Is this, you know, the business? Is this the right investment for me? You're going to get to that point. I guarantee it. I promise you. And if you're lucky enough to be, you know, 18, 19, 20 watching this video, then you're really at a good place, because man, a lot of people don't have a lot of information. You know, the younger, the earlier the better, but you're gonna have to really lock in, because when you get to that point, you have to make some tough choices, you know, and you're gonna have to have discernment, like who should be in my life and who shouldn't be in my life, who can take me to the next level and who can't. What partner, you know, when you begin a date, right? Is this partner align with the future that I want? So let's say, for example, you want kids, right? You want kids, but your partner doesn't want kids, and there's stronghold on it. They're like, I don't want kids, but yet you want kids. Well, that person doesn't align with your vision. You know, and you may have to say goodbye, but that's just the reality. It's like, if you want a family, you want to create a family, but your partner doesn't want to create a family, then that means you guys are not aligned. And they may change their mind, yes, but like, that's not your job, is to convince them. You know, raising kids and having kids is something that it requires a village effort, a joint effort. Two people, not just one. It's best if two people can be all hands on deck, or more than that, you know, aunts and uncles and, you know, friends and siblings and all that good stuff. So I know this video this morning has touched a lot of you guys' hearts. I know this video this morning is going to touch a lot of people's hearts in a good way, and I'm proud of this video. I'm proud, guys. I'm proud that I got up out of bed very early this morning. Like usual, I'm always up early most time, and I came on here and make this video because a lot of people need to know that there's more out there for you. Don't settle, you know, don't despite the days of humble beginnings, of small beginnings, guys. That's really what I want to leave this video off with, is don't look down on where you are right now, but strive for more. Don't be comfortable. Don't be comfortable in mediocrity, because that's going to lead you to poverty. You know what I'm saying? Sadly, it's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we just all settled for the bare minimum, you know what I'm saying, we wouldn't be able to help our loved ones. We wouldn't be able to help ourselves. So whether we like it or not, you got to strive for more. And guess what? We have the tools and we have the outlets nowadays where we can get more, you know, or we can investigate and have more and get more, you know. I mean, look at the countless people that have grown up in poverty, you know what I'm saying? And they have their own companies. They're not even working for another person. They're working for themselves. So please, you know, don't tell yourself that it's not possible. You know, if you have some limiting beliefs, you have some belief systems, or you have a way of thinking that, you know, is keeping you bound, then break out of it. You know, break free today. Break free right now. At the sound of my voice, break free right now. You know, you have to cut some people off, cut them off. Okay? If you're not married to somebody and you're in a toxic relationship, let them go. Block their number and never see them again. Send them love. Wish them well. You know, wish them well, but go for somebody better. You know what I'm saying? Leave that person alone, because they don't want to take you higher. They don't want to help you achieve your dreams. They don't want to create a family. They don't want to take care of you. So why entertain them? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you get to a point where you really ask yourself, is it me? Is it me or you? And if it's me, are you good for me? Are you good for what I'm going for? And if you're not, then guess what? We have to part ways. So don't despise where you are, guys. Don't despise humble beginnings, guys. Don't despise when you're starting out and trying to better your life. You know, you're young, I'm young, you know, those who are young watching, you know, younger watching, don't give up, okay? But don't get too comfortable is what I would say, because when you get too comfortable, life then begins to control you and you're not controlling it. And then it gets to a point where, you know, you're not able to really maximize your potential. You know what I'm saying? So then you're going to have to get people, get a system, get things around you that want to lift you up, that want to support you, that want to make you feel happy, that want to inspire you. That's something that you have to look for, but you have to go after. Once again, no one's going to do it for you. You have to go out of your comfort zone and make it happen. That's the hard part that nobody wants to talk about, is you are the person that has to go out there and ask for help and go to the library and look up, you know, certain keywords on YouTube. You know, that's the part that they don't want to talk about, is it's on you. So when it gets to retirement, because that's the end, right? When it gets to the end of your life, you want to be the person that says, wow, you know, I have so much money I can get to my grandkids. I could fund this, I can fund that, you know, because why? You put in the work, you know. Nothing really to do with having a huge salary, because like I said, I have researched people that, you know, didn't have the biggest salary, but when it came to the end of their life, they were very, very well off because they did the right things consistently. They were able to, like, you know, still work towards it. So regardless of not having a big salary or a lot of this or a lot of that, they were able to still and set and leave a good example, because they were determined enough to say, okay, I may not have the fancy job or fancy this or fancy that, but guess what? I can support my grandkids. I can go on vacation. I can stay at home. You know what I'm saying? So guys, just shift your mind. But let me tell y'all firsthand, majority of the things I've learned, I would say in terms of like what's for my life, I had to go out and get for myself. You know, I didn't have the worst foundation. I'll be honest with you. I didn't, by the grace of God. You know what I'm saying? The foundation that I was given, I think to the best of my parents' ability, was a good one, was a great one, because they were not into vices. They were not, you know, they set a good example for me. You know what I'm saying? And I thank them for that, because they didn't have to, but they did. And so they're not perfect. You know, my parents are not perfect, but guess what? There's things that I've learned, you know what I'm saying, from mistakes they've made, or mistakes they think that they've made. And now I want to uphold myself and help myself, and then help my future kids and grandkids. You know, I haven't even met my grandkids yet, but I know that if I have kids, then my kids will probably have kids, or at least one of them will have kids. If I have more than one kid, and maybe, you know, some of them have kids, and maybe some of them have kids, whatever, there's still going to be kids. You know, there's still going to be a legacy. There's still going to be people and mouths to feed. So what I think is like, listen, it ain't just about my kids, it's about my kids' kids. Are you getting what I'm saying? It's not just about the immediate, it's about the trail of souls and people that are going to benefit from my hard work. That's powerful. Why I just said it's powerful, man. What you do today, what you do right now is affecting your kids and your kids' kids and your kids' kids' kids. So when you get up in the morning, guys, and you think that what you do is not meaningful and it's not contributing to nothing, don't believe that lie. Don't believe that, because it is. And your kids and your kids' kids are going to benefit off of your hard work. So keep that as motivation, right? Keep that as motivation when you get tired, when you get weary, when you feel like giving up. Understand that there is other souls waiting for you to get it right. That your future spouse, if you're not married already, that your future spouse is waiting for you and is going to be so impressed with you by what you do today. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. When you think that you're not valuable, understand that people are going to look at you and be impressed by you and are going to want to support you because they say, wow, look at what she was able to do with barely nothing. So that just kind of touched me because I have never thought of it like that, but I really haven't until I made this video. But it's true. What you're doing now, your kids will benefit from, and then their kids will benefit from what you deposit in your child, and so forth, and furthermore. So it's not in vain, y'all. You got pets. If you got pets, same thing. Your pets are going to benefit from you, okay? You got money, you can buy more toys, you can buy nicer outfits, whatever, if you don't have kids, okay? Your parents, your friends, everybody, you know what I'm saying? Think about it, y'all. Everybody around you is going to benefit. You know, there is no loss, there is no lose-lose here. Everybody's going to benefit from your sacrifice now, what you do with it now. So if you fell off the wagon, you know what I'm saying? The pandemic, disease, whatever, declining health, bad economy, whatever is going on has messed you up. Don't lose hope. Don't give up, because history in the past has proven, right? Has proven that people have been in the same spot. Great Depression, whatever, World War II, you know what I'm saying? The past has proven that people have been down and out, and they become at the very tippy top. They're in the top. They're winning. If you're winning, you're at the top. You know what I'm saying? So don't believe the lie that, oh, it's not going to matter. It is going to matter, guys. And if you know, the world explodes or something was to happen, well, guess what? You still have had a good quality of life, because why? You're not down and out. So everything that we're doing is not in vain, guys. It's not in vain, because you're still impacting your community. You know what I'm saying? You're still around people that can see you. What if you're down and out? You know what I'm saying? You're struggling. People can see that. You know, no offense, but people can see that. So if someone's an addict on the street, can they not see that? They can see that the person is an addict, and that their you know, life is kicking their ass. But guess what? They can also see the person who's driving a nice car, right? Driving a decent car, got clean clothes on, got a car full of kids, got a car full of friends, or a car full of family, or they have a nice partner. The world can see that too. Okay. I'm saying something this morning, y'all. The world can see that too. I don't know about y'all, but whenever I see somebody doing well, another person doing well like me, or I see somebody in a good marriage or whatever, like, I get inspired by that. I don't know how people get jealous, or they get cringe face, whatever. I love that, because that just shows me that that's possible. You know what I'm saying? Why am I going to focus on what's not possible when I could focus on what is possible? Like, why would I ever do that? You know, I'd rather focus on people that are having it good than people are having it bad. And when people are focusing on more people that have it bad than good, that just shows me that their mentality is lack. Because even one time I had a conversation with a stranger, really, random conversation, literally. And I told the person, like, I'm not concerned with who's doing worse than me. I'm concerned with who's doing better than me. You know what I'm saying? Or who's living, yeah, better. Like, I'm focused on the better, not the worse. Because if I'm comparing with the worst, then I want to be low like them. No, I want to be high. I want to be happy. You see what I'm saying? So you got to check where people's heads are at. What mentality, what kind of mentality they got going on. So if you know that you're in a bad space, you're in a bad space, you're in a rut, you know, things aren't going well for you, don't stay there, guys. I feel like I gotta sneeze or something. I'm gonna clear my nose after this, but you know, you don't have to do that, guys. You don't have to stay bound. Yep, I sneezed. See, told you. I had a feeling. You don't have to accept that, guys. Sorry, excuse me, guys. There's a lot of trees, a lot of pollen. I'm like right under a big tree. So I'm gonna go and get some tissue. One sec, y'all. Let me see if I have any tissue. Do I have any tissue in here? Oh, I do it down there. I took my allergy medicine this morning, so it probably hasn't kicked in yet. Excuse me, y'all. That's my cue to go. I gotta go home and clean up. But excuse me, y'all. Anyway. Oh, sorry, y'all. I apologize. Sneeze attack. Sorry, y'all, about that. But anyway, so I care about y'all. I care about y'all. And so, yeah, guys, just don't believe that what you do is not going to mean anything, because it is. Excuse me. Because it is. Excuse me, guys. I apologize. Because it is. Okay, it is. And everything you do now is going to be better for your future and better for you and your loved ones. And the more you get up, if you're down, the more you get back up and you strive, the better. So if you're down and out, you're off track, you're off keel, you feel like you're off the horse, you know, life has gone crazy a little bit, get back on the saddle, y'all. Get back on the saddle, y'all. And don't give up, because the evil powers that be would want you to just settle, you know what I'm saying, and just toss up your hands and say, you know, but you don't have to live that way. You could live a glorious life and set a good example, and you could, and guess what? The more you have, the more you can give. You know, the less you have, the less you can give. So think about that when you think that what you do doesn't mean anything. The more you have, the more you can help and invest and give to things that give to you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's about, y'all. All right, I'm gonna get off here. Gonna get some tissue, because I feel like I have a little bit of allergies. But I took my allergy medicine this morning, so I'm good now. But yeah, I'm gonna go and get my day started. It's early. So I love y'all. I really love y'all a lot, and I want y'all to have a great life. I really do. And I don't want people to believe the negative hype out here of dysfunction, you know, and messiness and a loss of control, because that's not true. You know what I'm saying? I could have been that person. You see what I'm saying? I could have been that person that just gave up, you know what I'm saying, after little things in life happen here and there. But that's not it. I'm not built that way. I'm not built to give up. I'm not built to just be like taking abuse. You know, I'm not built that way. And so if people are built that way, it's because I think it's what they've been programmed to be. But with the right information, the right people, the right knowledge, they can break out of that oppression, you know what I'm saying, and suppression and abuse. They can break out of it. But first you have to break yourself out of that mold, that conditioning. That's the hard part, is you have to break yourself out of that conditioning first. Because if you don't find a way to, you know, push back, push out, get out, then you kind of are in there longer. But that's okay. Life happens. But the thing is, you cannot stay there. All right. So guys, stay motivated, stay happy, stay healthy. Okay. Keep pushing yourself out here. Don't give up. Don't give in. Better is on the horizon. Look at the countless, just search up certain keywords on YouTube. Look at the countless people who've done so well with their lives, have had tragedy, horror, and have come out on the other side better and brighter than ever, and happy. So I know that exists for all of us, and me myself personally, on the real, I'm working every day to the best of my ability to make that happen. I really am. I have a lot of goals, like things, like quotas I want to hit in my own mind for my future. And what I'm saying, I'm just proactive about it. I'm staying positive about it. I don't care what they want to forecast out here. I'm gonna forecast my own future. How about that? All right, love y'all. Bye.